So I was saying hovering and the fellowship of Allah Harvath. Uh, the Ruach has really lead my testimony with you. Uh, uh, I grew up in normal church settings like everybody else. My father led me to the apostolic way, which I found out that was religion too, but that's neither here or there. And I decided to walk away from that. I wanted to venture into the street life and selling drugs and those things, and so I took a 12 or 13-year hiatus to do that. And in my walk of doing that, that's how I end up here in Topeka, Kansas. And as I was out there doing those things, it was a time when I was out there before Yaakov was able to get my attention. A rival gang member tried to kill me. He walked up behind me. I was in a dispute with another gangster over territory, and he walked up behind me and he stuck the barrel of his gun in, I guess you would call it, my brain stem on the back of my head. And instead of pleading with the man for my life, or even stopping the dispute with the other gentleman, I asked Yeshua HaMashiach if he was going to allow me to live. Now, at the time, I called him Jesus Christ, but I asked him if he was going to allow me to live to become a minister. And I did this in my head, and the person behind me with the gun to my head lowered the gun, and he asked me to let his friend go because I was killing him. So that was a monumental day for me, and it's when I decided to come back to what I thought was a fellowship of Yeshua, which we called the church. And on my road to do that, I still sold drugs for a few months, but I couldn't get away from the miracle that happened to me that day. And so I decided to come back to church, and I got into a place where I thought they were teaching the truth. But every time the Ruach would lead me and guide me and do things, I was always taken aside and corrected, because I learned before I even came out of the street that these pagan holidays were wrong. And I began to teach about these things, and I was corrected for that. They told me that I couldn't teach these things in the church. It was okay for me to teach them in my home, but I was not supposed to teach these things in the church. Now, if you read your Bible, which Professor Alan Harath teaches us, and he showed them the same things that the Ruach HaKodesh has showed me in the Word, where it speaks against these things. And even in the study that we're in now, and how it tells us to have no other gods, for us to know that these feast days, pagan feast days, are against his teaching, how do we still communicate these things to the church and say that it's okay? So these were things that caused me to be excommunicated from the church, and I thank him. I really thank him for teaching me spiritual warfare, and I really thank him for the knowledge that he has given me in the book of Enoch, not even knowing Hebrew. That is such a blessing to me, and it is really what I stand on to pray over this altar and over the Shamaim over this region. And I don't know why I was supposed to share that, but I just wanted to make sure that I did do that and be obedient to the Ruach HaKodesh and the leading of Yahweh in my life. And thank you for listening. Be blessed. Amen.